Welcome everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin 43,193 up 2.66%, Ethereum 2975 up 2.12%. My goal is to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, and also gain real wealth in the process. Our community focuses on real wealth. Real wealth is much more than money. Of course, money is incredibly important, have no doubt about that, but it doesn't need to be the singular focus. Spirituality, real wealth if you like, that is also important, but that doesn't need to be the singular focus also. You can literally have both. Money is neither good nor bad, it's just purely energy. A good person with money does good things, and the opposite. I always say that a scalpel in the hands of a surgeon heals. The same scalpel in the hands of a criminal may kill. There's a very, very big difference between motives, between the life trend. But the scalpel, in this case, like that's money, is just a neutral thing. It's just a form of energy. Many people seek to get rich quick. It's not possible. And if somebody is promising that you can get rich quick, you are actually being scammed. In the crypto market, it's incredibly volatile. The returns can never be guaranteed. Everything goes up and down with extreme volatility all the time. It's really important to protect yourself from scammers. If people reach out to you, want you to send them money, please don't. Please look after yourself. This is a bit of a Wild West kind of market at the moment. Now, getting back to real wealth is all about inner and outer peace, integrity, decency, authenticity, courage, honor, empathy, and love. They're literally all the things that make life a truly pleasurable and fulfilling experience. And money just helps you to do it in style. Hey, why not? To answer the question, is crypto, Bitcoin and crypto going to break out? We need a little bit more information. You need more context. After being in the financial markets for many decades, it's important to understand the interplay between stocks and bonds and crypto. Stocks, and this is at the end of 2020 globally, stocks accounted for around $95 trillion, bonds for around $128 trillion. You can see the crypto market is just a tiny little baby compared to these big giants. Of course, crypto is impacted by stocks and bonds, but you say, Ken, how? I don't understand. I thought bonds were so boring. Yeah, bonds are boring, definitely agree. I think stocks are boring too, but many people like them. So with the stock market, when the stocks get overheated or when there are problems, bond prices go up, yields plummet because bond prices and yields are inversely related. There are a number of warning signs when there is undue risk in the market. When there's a lot of risk in the stock market, a thing called the VIX, which is the fear gauge of the stock market, spikes. We get a confluence between crypto and stocks, especially in big sell-offs. Crypto tends to get very hard hit by sell-offs. It decreases by substantially more than stocks. That's why we do early warning systems. When the fear gauge, the VIX, starts to spike, generally the DXY actually increases. Now you say, Cam, what's the DXY? That's the US dollar currency index. The DXY, you can think about it as the US dollar. When the US dollar, the DXY, goes up, it's like a flight to safety. In other words, you could say it like this. When the DXY goes up, it's like USDC, USDT, BUSD, and DAI. These are the four major stable coins in the crypto market. They turn green. This is signifying a flight to safety. Money is coming out of crypto into stable coins. That is a risk-off move. People are feeling fear and risk. It's really interesting that the market is green. What it's showing me when I look at this is that there is underlying fear in the market. The ball is being shuffled under the cup, so to speak. Okay, let's talk about fear. Fear, the fear gauge of the crypto market is this thing that you've seen around. There are a couple of alternate versions flying around the place. What we see when the fear gauge goes down, this means there's a lot of fear in the market. Let me just make it maximum. You can see this is an extreme fear, extreme greed up. I like to say that it's extreme optimism and extreme pessimism. I think that's a nicer way of saying it. What we're seeing here is a lot of pessimism, a lot of fear in the market currently, and there's good reason for that. And you say, Ken, what's the good reason? We have a lot of risks. We have China's Evergrande default debt situation. There's literally a great wall of debt in China, but it's really systemic. It's worldwide. It's not just in China, but the Great Wall is so cool. From the new legislation that was passed by the Chinese government, crypto confiscation is now possible. It's a criminal offense for Chinese nationals to work in crypto. We've got a potential problem as Tether is based in Hong Kong, that it could be depegged. Tether is like the oil inside the crypto engine. It's a bit of a problem. I would suggest that people get out of Tether for the moment, either go into USDC or USDC. That's probably the two safest bets. You notice I said the same thing twice, because I did. There are other coins, absolutely, but USDC is quite heavily regulated, and it's based in America. It should be fine. Some people say, well, Ken, the same people that do USDC, which is Circle, they also do BUSD, which is Binance's coin. So why can't I just pop into Binance? Fair enough. The problem is Binance is the real use case behind Binance coin BUSD. Hang on, I'll just show you. This is BNB. Airbnb. BNB, the use case behind Binance coin is cheaper fees on the Binance exchange. Currently, Binance is being closed down in multiple jurisdictions, or unfortunately being kicked out of them. Binance is a fantastic platform. I actually trade on Binance, but there are real, I don't know how you would say it, like an earthquake going through the crypto market at the moment. There's a time to be sensible. That time is now. If you take BNB and you put your money into BUSD, so sorry, I just love BNB. What a cute thing it is. I wanted to say Airbnb. If you put your money into BUSD, sorry guys, I'm a little bit tired at the moment. That 2:30 morning just did me in. BUSD doesn't have a use case outside of Binance. That means that if something happened to Binance, of course BNB becomes valueless, because what are you going to do with it? And BUSD also becomes valueless. That's why at this particular point of time, it's good to just risk off until the waters clear. And they will clear, and I'm sure Binance will do just fine. But for the moment, a little bit of hesitation could be a good thing. Now, what is the safest thing in the crypto market? It's Bitcoin. Why? Because it is not a security. It's been assessed as not a security. Well, what about ETH? That was assessed as not a security as well. The court case with XRP is pivotal to the crypto industry. I'm not sure how many people are taking that court case seriously. If XRP is found to be a security, that could pull ETH into that also, capturing ETH as a security. If ETH is a security, all the alts pretty much are securities as well. I think definitely I will do a video on XRP and share the legalistic side with you. My background is finance, law, and actuarial science, basically hardcore mathematics. This XRP is really significant to the crypto market. All thoughts and prayers are with XRP at the moment, that it wins its court case and does really, really well. The crypto industry needs it. So it's really not surprising that the fear gauge is just going off the negative end of the charts. But that's not just confined to crypto. The main market, the stock markets, you know the stock markets are really big. They're doing a similar thing to what happened before the last crash. They're getting up over resistance like this. This is not so good. If the VIX starts to spike up like this, continues this kind of behavior that it's got, we should be worried. That means what happens to crypto if the VIX or the market crashes? Short answer, crypto will crash along with the market, and harder and faster, but it typically recovers more quickly, which is a good thing. I know a lot of YouTube influencers get out there, and of course the media as well in general, and say buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. When you see systemic issues like this, and you've been through so many financial crashes as I have, you kind of look at this and say, yeah, not right now. In crypto, we have to prepare for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Let's say we prepare for the worst case scenario. Pretend we're around here. This is going back to before the March 2020 crash. Say we're around this particular point. We're seeing crypto go up. Oh, everything is good. Now, what happens? You can see the price action doesn't go all the way down like a brick. It takes time to do, and then it finally capitulates, generally in 2 waves. This we have to look for. Capitulation is an important aspect of the crypto market. That's if we get a black swan. Now, we may not necessarily get a black swan, and if we don't, well, we'll have plenty of cash around because we've prepared to buy this capitulation through the 10-5-10 fund. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, please go back to previous episodes. It's really good to look at the 10-5-10 rule. How it basically works, if you see we came down in March of 2020 over 19 days, that's not long, that's under 3 weeks. Over that period of time, we came down 57%. If you manage to buy around the bottom, note that in just a couple of months, it went up 143%. This is what black swans do. They flush all excess liquidity out of the system. They reset the scales, and then everybody comes in, and as price goes up, then they start to buy the dip when they've got some confirmation. We're not like that. We use probabilistic fearlessness. We want to see these falling knives. We're prepared for them. We're a knife catching community, but we're smart about what we do. A few members in the community reached out and said, Ken, you always say don't prepare before a crash, just everything is fine. Yes, that is generally the case. It's like, for example, in chaos zone analysis, the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. When there is conflict in the world and you're in the meaning zone, not in the conflict and blame zone, you of course step up to necessary conflict, which is about 1 out of every 100 conflicts that you can get into. You let the other 99% just fizzle out because they're not important. But it's the same thing with preparing. I had trouble with that word, didn't I? Preparing for crashes. If there are so many signals that are being given off, if you don't prepare, then that's a little bit crazy. For example, this spiking activity that we've seen in the VIX, also the DXY rallying, there are a number of things that occur. I guess because I've lived through so many crashes, I get a sort of maybe 6th sense about it. Let's look at the DXY. Just think the DXY is the stable coin for the stock market. If we go back to March of 2020, this is on a log scale, not a normal arithmetic scale. We can see that the DXY passed by this resistance, then it passed by this resistance. It's been turning around for a long time. What do we know about bases? These are like the foundations of a building. When the foundation is built, what happens? The skyscraper goes up. Where will it go? Definitely to here, around 97,464. Absolutely. Potentially up to here. When the dollar spikes, beware. Now that's a really big introduction to this specific chart. This chart is important. This is the combined market capitalizations of Bitcoin and Ethereum. We can see there's a line of resistance. When price gets above that line, that blue line, line 3, that makes us feel more confident about getting in. We can see that the combined prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum sought to rally up to this line of structural repair, but they didn't get there. That creates a thing called negative air. When price moves down below it, it gets confirmed as negative air. Then we saw another attempt to get through. Then price retreated. That's negative air as well. Beware of negative air is one of our rules. Then what happened again? Tried to rally up, got squashed, came back. That's also negative air. Now what are we seeing? We're seeing an upward thrust. But what is really happening here? All we've seen is resistance from this peak to this peak, this resistance line, line 5. Price is just literally hit for Bitcoin and Ethereum that resistance line and backed off to this solid support. You can see it's solidly supporting the price there. Now, what do we want to see happen to feel confident that things are going up and all of these problems are just meaningless? We need to get above this line. It's a key resistance line. If we keep on staying below this resistance, that is really not good because it could drop off a cliff in terms of price. That's why we want to have a 10-5-10 fund funded up. Now that doesn't mean that we can't engage in swing trades and all sorts of things in the market. If that's your preference, go for it, of course. The thing to actually bear in mind, the debt ceiling, if it's not increased, Janet Yellen says on the 18th of October, the US government will be in technical default of its debt. That is really bad. Before that happens, the government can shut down. The government can shut down without defaulting. It can run on fumes for a little while. In 2013, that happened. Bitcoin dropped over 33%. Please bear this in mind. This is why we're funding the 10-5-10 fund, because we want that. We want that spike down, that capitulation. We're looking for it. Also, Evergrande defaulted on its debt repayments and has until the 24th of October to actually come good, or it will be in technical default. If it's in technical default, trying to pay only 1/3 of 1% of its total debt, US denominated debt, then we can say Evergrande is about to fall, and it will probably bring down the Chinese market with it. When we had a crash, the 57% that I showed you earlier, you can see how that can play out. It doesn't necessarily happen overnight, and that's the thing to bear in mind with markets. So what does all this mean? If we get above this blue line, we're going to be looking good. Now, what I've done here is just, maybe I'll just increase this up so you can see it. This chart I created by doing CryptoCap total minus CryptoCap total 3. That gives you Bitcoin and Ethereum market capitalization. That just helps you to track this in real time. I think it's important. What I do in this community, I'm always seeking to share my knowledge with you and to help you to fish. I could give you the fish. I could say, if it passes this level, buy. If it passes this level, sell. That doesn't help you at all. What helps you is to build your fishing rod, build your knowledge, and then you can go out and fish like a champion, and you can live on that fish forever if you want. Or you can trade your fish for Bitcoin. Or, of course, your beloved altcoins. Now, what does this really mean? If we pass this line is it all done? Is it all fixed? You say, Ken, is it all sunny now and the Lambo is in the driveway next week? Please don't think like that. That's incorrect thinking. Success follows good fundamentals. You have to work hard for everything that you are to be a success in. Nothing comes easily. If it does, it will go easily. What really is going to happen? This line of major structural resistance is the key line, line 2. We've got about a 25% gap between the current minor resistance line and the current major structural resistance line. There's a bit of play in here, and that's why I was showing you that chart earlier from 2020, when you remember when the price went up. This could be something like this happening here. Please be careful. Don't think it's just all over if the price gets above this. I know a lot of influencers will tell you, yeah, it's all good, but believe me, it's not. Maybe they haven't been in financial markets like me for 35 years. Okay, another key point, Spark Pool, the second largest Ethereum mining pool, was closed on the 30th of September in response to those Chinese laws that were passed. On the 15th of October, B-Pool, the fourth largest Ethereum mining pool, will close. Now, a lot of people say, that's no issue, don't worry. The first, the second largest, the third largest, the 10th largest, the fourth largest, they all close, everything will be fine. I'm sure that's correct in the long term, but in the short term, it could create some enormous profitable buying opportunities with the 10-5-10 fund. We're inherently bullish about crypto, but we're also really, really sensible. That money, your money, is your life force. You need to guard it through knowledge. Another thing we need to do is understand the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ futures are going up, but you've seen there's been a rejection here. The bulls are not in control. The bears are squashing down price, just like what they did in the last session. This is really key. If we end up below this lower low here, I think it's all on. We're going and heading lower. I don't think we'll go too much through this support, playing up along this channel, but you never know. A lot of people have said when the 10-year I've done it again. When the 10-year yield spikes, it just really goes up fast. The stock market crumbles. As a former lecturer in first and second year stats, I hear those kind of laws and I say, I don't believe that. Let me check. Let me run the numbers on it. What I see is there was a spike here, price went up. There was a spike here, price went up. There was a spike here, it went up. There was a spike here, it went down. Okay, confirmation. So out of 5, we've got 2. Wow, that's not a very good batting average, is it? Spike here, went up. Spike here, went up. Spike here, went down. Okay, that's a confirmation. And a spike here, it went down. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 4 out of 9. That's not a good batting average. If it was 9 out of 9, I would believe it for a time. The markets always change in character. Please bear that in mind. That's a really important hidden gem. It goes the same for crypto. The most important thing to take away from this, because I know people on our channel, we don't really care that much about the stock market. We're just looking at it from a Bitcoin technical analysis perspective to gain an understanding about what's going on. If you look at this, you remember this big drop here in the NASDAQ. What happened to crypto? It also dropped. And when we had a little bit of recovery, it also recovered. If it recovers, that's great for Bitcoin and all cryptos. Please keep your eye on this. People are going to talk about the 10-year yield and various things. Don't pay too much attention. I think just look at the NASDAQ for the moment. Now, how are things playing out with Bitcoin? We can see we've got this resistance coming into play. Bit of negative air, trying to get up, but this is a resistance line, a horizontal one. Price is trying to get up, it's being rejected. Trying to get up, it's been rejected. I wouldn't be at all surprised if the fear at the start of the session goes down, because people are basically optimistic. They want to buy the dip, and we may get an excess push above this line, and the institutions may use that and say thank you very much and push the price down, liquidating those longs. When a long is liquidated, it creates sell pressure and it could push it down. At the moment, they're trying to reduce the price in the market, but they need to keep the technical structure in play. If the technical structure breaks, Wall Street loses. What that literally means, they don't want price to come too much more below this particular support line. This is where the institutions would want to buy. That could push Bitcoin. Well, it's a little bit hard to tell depending on how much panic goes through the market, but it could push it to 30,000. Just bear that in mind. I think if that happened, we would get a long tail rejection and it would close over a support line, but just bear it in mind. Bitcoin is currently trading at 43,683. I would suggest that there's quite a good support at 40,741, also at 39,235. If we move the chart down, we're looking around the 34 to 35,000 as very good support levels. This is all about capitulation, but we can see how quickly things can sell off. We're just aware that if we're not above this line, things are risky. Doesn't matter what other people tell you, this is really important stuff to keep you safe. I don't want you to be unsafe in the markets. If we get above that line, it's about 14.9% up to the next major line. And then, of course, we've got a point where things can take off. That line is about 19% up. So realistically, I don't believe anybody is going to miss out on anything. If price tended to come up and waver around here and hit here and come down, that could happen. We realistically need to just take this slowly. We need to see, if you're trading, you need to be very tight with your stops. You need to know your entry and exit positions. The market is very, very risk averse at the moment. Let's have a look at Ethereum's technical analysis. Ethereum, ETH, is currently trading at 30.12. We can see it's seeking to make its way above this intermediate resistance. This is quite a weak resistance line. We've seen quite a good degree of support up. That's excellent. And we've seen a lot of support at the 27.96 mark and 26.09 mark. Please be aware that when we get above this particular resistance, which is coming into effect at around 31.17, we have a bit of a wall that we need to get across at 33.21. Then we get a lot of resistance up at 35.90, 36.49, and the key one is about 22% up from a breach, turning this resistance into support. Around 22% above that is a key line. When the party is on, you can invite all your friends, then it's totally safe. But let's go the other way. What if things start to crumble? We can see very good support at 23.87, 19.09, and there's a couple of different levels between there, but they are quite good. Many people have said, okay, Ken, where do we lay a buy? I would suggest it really depends on yourself. I would avoid layer buying just at the moment. We're really coming up to some very turbulent things. If you want to put layer buys in, put them way down, as low as you can go. You might be pleasantly surprised. If you are prepared to take the risk, let's have a look what could be a good trading opportunity. I'm not suggesting that this is a good investment opportunity. I think the markets are very unstable right now. Literally, any day we could get a rug pull if we're not above key technical levels, and currently we are below. So having a look at Bitcoin, it's under resistance. Ethereum under resistance. When I say under resistance, it basically means don't touch it at the moment. Binance coin is under resistance. No, it's actually got above and it's being supported across there, but it's under this one. As you know, Binance coin may get into trouble. There's been a lot of rumors about some potential issues that could be hitting Binance. Another one, XRP. XRP is getting above resistance. This is good. It's finding a level of support. There's a potential move between 94 and 104. Looking at DOGE, it's still under resistance, but it's starting to slowly come around. DOT under resistance. Sol looking reasonable, just peaking above that resistance. We do need to keep our eye on when the stock market opens. If there's a massive bout of fear, you know what's going to happen. That's going to spill into the crypto market and drive prices down. I'd like to say thank you to all the very generous community members who reached out and bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks. Thank you, Robert and Mike and Cal and Zach. It's so nice of you. I very much appreciate it. Each month, as a sign of my appreciation, I put out a special coffee club video. I'll make sure to send that to all the coffee club members, and I just want to thank everybody for their support and love and kindness and gratitude. It's so beautiful. Thank you, everyone. I'd be really interested to know what you feel as a community. Do you think we'll get across this first resistance line, line 5? Do you think we'll get above line 3? Or do you think we'll be below line 3? Please let me know in the comments. It's a really good thing for you to look at this and try and make an estimate, and then we can come back later and compare what actually happened. It will skill you up. It's a really, really good thing to do. So basically, do you believe that the crypto market will move above or below line 3? You can literally put above if you feel above, or below if you feel below. Thanks so much. It will be really cool to look at that. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from. And of course, if you have any questions, we're all about community inside our channel. Your comments are really important to me, and I do my best to read everyone. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.